Cannot see you.
Now you can see me.
Yes.
You can't. Here I am. Now I'm not. Now I'm not. Now here I am. Denver Broncos Mile High View. No commercials. No bullshit. Covering Groundhog's Day, otherwise known as another off season going into the season with the Denver Broncos. More things change. More things stay the same. I've had a lengthy conversation with our Saints source, and he's changed my mind on a few things. Or at least gave me different things to consider. So, involving some of the picks here. He was, well, I'll get into that later. So, obviously there's picks that people like, picks that people don't like. And I'm going to, I'll surprise you a little bit, but I want to start off with running backs, the running game. I want to start off with Williams and his situation. His career may be over. It's possible. We don't know for sure, but it's possible. Multiple ligament tears. The guy we had last year, Murray, he makes more sense now having him. I'm just saying having him in general with Sean Payton. That was explained to me too a bit. I understand why you would go a little bit. I don't know. I don't know about this Cincinnati guy. I would have, I don't know about that, about the pick, but I understand wanting to be a little bit deep because these guys, these running backs get dinged up, obviously. But Eddie was saying to me that, and it's probably will get more into our offensive line conversation. He was telling me how he likes, Sean Payton likes, or Murray as a receiving back as well. But anyway, so I'm just saying that I'm just wondering if Williams, if all next year is going to be a rehab year for Williams. What do you think?
Well, I'm not too high on the Samaje Perine pick. I think you could have found better value at that position more than Samaje Perine. I'm not saying Samaje Perine is a bad running back. All I'm saying is you could have went younger and you could have found somebody, whether it's in the undrafted free agent pool or in the draft. This draft is loaded with running backs. It's not top heavy. It's loaded with some very solid, deep running backs. And I'm not in the mindset of paying running backs. That's not me, just due to the fact that their shelf life doesn't last long.
Well, Williams. Look at Williams.
Yeah, look at Williams. Look at Ezekiel Elliott in Dallas. They're cutting him most likely, and they're going to keep that Tony Pollard. I really wanted the Denver Broncos to go out and get a Tony Pollard type running back, a guy like a Boston Scott. He's 26, 27 years old, but he's mainly a receiving back. So, the Denver Broncos, again, go the complete opposite. I might be wrong about Samaje Perine. I'm not saying he's a terrible running back. He might be good on goal line.
Talk value and money and where to allocate things.
Yeah, and we'll get into a lot of that later. But I think Samaje Perine's bread will be buttered, especially in the goal line situations. And they also brought a fullback that I really like from the Kansas City Chiefs, Michael Burton. He played for Sean Payton in New Orleans. He's a bruising, physical fullback. And what that signals to me is that they're going to run the football. You don't bring in
football, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to hear. See, what I'm hearing from, we have these live YouTubers out there that think that they just know it all, right? They know that their shit doesn't stink. They think that they're going to throw the football more. I disagree with them fully. From what we saw in, especially Ben Powers' move and Michael Burton.
Can I stop you just a second about throwing the football more? If Stidham goes in, they'll throw it more. But not with the rest. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Michael Burton, and then you have Samaje Perine, and we don't know the status of Javonte Williams, and they might draft another running back in this year's draft. We have no idea. If you're going to draft a running back in this year's draft, you need to go find an Alvin Kamara type. You don't need to get another bruising running back. You need to get that thunder and lightning in your backfield. But What that signals to me is that they're going to run the football more. You have to run the football more. Russell Wilson can't throw to the side of the barn. He can't. Okay. You're going to have to make reads easier for Russell Wilson to throw. And you're going to have to make those reads easy for him to understand that he needs to get the ball out quicker. Because
I'm going to address that too. Give us, who are our running backs right now?
We got Javonte Williams, but he's hurt. Shemichael Perine. I think it's Ty McAllister. He's a 24-year-old guy. He's 24. So I want to see what he does in the preseason and stuff. I'm actually pretty high on him. He's about 5'9", 6 foot. You know, he's kind of that speedy West Coast zone run running back. But again, I want to see the Denver Broncos get another running back, especially
Murray, right?
I don't think they need to go get Murray. I think they can go get a Boston Scott.
No, I mean, he's still on the payroll, isn't he? Still.
No, he's not. He's not on the payroll. Latavius Murray's off the Broncos. He's a free agent. That's why I'm not so high. If you're going to go get a Latavius Murray running back, just bring back Latavius Murray on a 1-year deal.
I thought he was. Yeah, now that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he's not on the Broncos. He's
okay. Well, that makes absolutely no sense at all whatsoever.
Yeah,
that makes absolutely no sense. I want to step back a little bit and look at this umbrella of coaches, front office, and it seems like you got the cooks in the kitchen effect. I honestly believe that in order to get, because they couldn't get anybody to come here for defensive coordinator, I really believe that to get Vance Joseph, he said I at least have to have some say on player person, some say. And I think that, first of all, that's why Dre'Mont Jones isn't here. And we got his replacement coming from Arizona. What's your take on that?
I think that Zach Allen's a better player in a 3-4 defense than Dre'Mont Jones was. And I think he's going to align a lot better next to DJ Jones. And that's going to elevate DJ Jones. It's going to elevate both players. You know, see, that is my second favorite move of this free agent cycle is the Zach Allen pickup, because I said, what did I say? I brought up Zach Allen long before these people were even talking about him. You can go to our past videos, and I brought it up too. And when it comes to Zach Allen, he fits that 3 tech and a 3-4 defense. He's basically a poor man's version of Derek Wolfe.
So
your poor man's version.
Dre'Mont Jones, he's going to a 4-3. How is he going to do it?
Yeah, I think he's going to do a lot better in Seattle than he did in Denver, because they're going to use him in a 4-3 defense. It's funny. It's funny, right? Me and you don't know football, right? We're in our mother's basements. We have no idea what we're talking about. But yet the players like Dre'Mont Jones said, oh, I'm going to go to a 4-3 defense. Seattle values, hey, we're going to get this guy who's going to fit our 4-3 defense. It's funny, isn't it? It's just really funny that.
Well, yeah. You would pick, you don't just pick what you think is the best player. You pick up system guys.
Exactly.
So Dre'Mont Jones goes someplace where he can actually function.
Thrive. He can thrive.
He can thrive there. Okay. So, but also on defense, we got more like front office kind of stuff. Like, I just want to say, anybody can go look. John Elway's still there as a consultant, right? But all of his picks for player personnel, front office people are all still in the front office. And we're going to talk about Singletary. That's all it sounds like front office to me. You got your one pick, Vance Joseph. Now the front office player personnel people, they get their say, and that was Singletary, right?
Yeah, Singleton, Alex Singleton.
Excuse me.
Alex Singleton, again, what did I say? He's a 4-3 off-ball linebacker. He's not a 3-4 inside linebacker. And pairing him next to Josie Jewell just reaffirms what I said, that they just want that good enough effect. They don't want to get better at the middle linebacking core. Alex Singleton is a good straightforward run stuffer, but lateral to lateral, and especially in coverage, both of those guys are going to get, again, we're going to see it again for the 8th year in a row. The middle of the field get absolutely exposed by receiving backs, by slot receivers, and by tight ends, because those two cannot cover to save their life. We saw Singleton couldn't cover. I mean, there's a play, I forgot, it might have been against the Titans or somebody else, but they did a drag route at the goal line, and he just gets absolutely destroyed and gives up a touchdown in the middle of the field. I mean, we saw that all year long with this middle linebacking core. They might be good at run defense, but lateral to lateral run defense, they suck at it. And also in coverage, they suck at it. So again, the Denver Broncos do Denver Broncos things with that fucking signing by regurgitating our point that they don't care about the middle of the field.
They don't. And I just want to put a disclaimer on this fifth best, whatever best defense. Clearly, when teams needed to score, they ran the football, threw the football, did it all, and they scored. They didn't have to score much because the offense couldn't do anything. We'll get into the offense here, but you can't sit here and talk about how great the defense was when it came time to score. The reason why the Broncos lost so many games is, for instance, the Ravens is a great example. 95 yards of the guy who couldn't throw the ball, who hadn't thrown the ball in all season long, really. He hadn't even taken a snap. Throws that pass directly to Simmons, no problem. Drives down 95 yards, wins the game. Nobody wants to talk about those elephants in the room. Go ahead.
What? Okay. I like the.
Go ahead.
I like the Zach Allen pick, but my concern is when I watch the film on the Vance Joseph defenses, what is the one thing that they struggle against? The running game. I mean, we saw teams able to run on the Arizona Cardinals at will, and that's the fear that I have.
I think and on the Broncos at will too, personally.
Well, exactly, but I think it's going to be even worse because I think that Vance Joseph defenses are not known to be great tackling units, and when it comes to the front seven, he usually goes for the bigger body guys, but they can't. It's just what concerns me is the run defense with the Broncos, because I just think that with what we have on the defensive front, I think you still got to add 1 to 2 more pieces, because I don't think DJ Jones and Zach Allen can do it both on their own. They need to get that other 3 tech on that 3-4 defense. And, DJ Jones and Zach Allen, I think if you're going to run right at those guys, they're going to have no problem eating up runs. But if they're gonna do stretch runs against Gregory or Browning, that's where I think a lot of teams are going to attack, is those edges, because I think those 2 guys out on the edges aren't going to be great run defenders. And then you're going to have those linebackers go lateral, sideline to sideline, and then they're going to get exposed. So again, to me, what's going to be eye-opening for me is how bad this run defense is going to be this year. I might be wrong. I love the Zach Allen pick. I think that if you're going to run right at those 2 guys, DJ Jones, Zach Allen, they're going to eat up runs. But if you're going to go right at Baron Browning and right at Gregory, you're going to have no problem running on this defense.
Typically, that's what we've seen on film.
Yep.
Also, I want to talk about the middle of the field. You've got the goalie for Manchester United, about 40 yards back at, manning the goalie. So if a ball gets kicked out, he trots out and, Mr. 40 yards off Justin Simmons. We have I'm trying to figure out who they have as their corner that takes care of the cross routes.
Kawhi Williams.
He's up and down. I mean, his age is definitely showing, without a doubt. He does make some plays once in a while, but
he's very inconsistent.
Very inconsistent. So that's going to be, and then obviously the linebacking is constantly attacked. So
and now you also got to think about, we got rid of Darby, who's going to be opposite of Patrick Surtain, Damari Mathis.
Yeah, that's what they think.
I think Damari Mathis better safety.
Mathis was a front office pick, in my opinion.
Well, I think Damari Mathis is a better safety than he is a corner.
Well, people position. They're all out of position.
Yep. So if I'm attacking the Broncos defense, middle of the field, the edges, and Damari Mathis, that's all I would do. And then I would go underneath routes with Surtain and go over the top on Simmons. That's how I'll attack this defense.
Well, we see that on film all the time, and that really opens up your playbook if you're an offense. And that's why personally, I think that's exactly why so many teams were experimenting with the Denver Broncos, because they could attack them in so many different ways. So they normally don't, like, for instance, Titans. Normally they're not a pass happy team, but they wanted to see what they could do with different, so yeah. And then when it came time to win the game, they just went back to what they were, did what they did, and then won the game, So, they moved when they wanted to move the ball, they moved the ball, and most of it was an experimentation, knowing that the Broncos offense in no way is going to score any points.
Yep.
So, okay. Now we got to talk about the 10,000-pound elephant in the room, the signing of the right tackle. Eddie had a lot to say about that. He was high on the pick. He was high on the pick because he sees it as because he has watched Sean Payton. He's absolutely convinced that's a Sean Payton pick because he said Sean Payton is going to use him like Ramczyk. He said you're going to see him in the screen. You're going to see a lot of screens.
I can on that. I can.
Yes. He's not. Yeah, he realizes he's not Ramsey. And he totally gets he's not Ramczyk. But what he said is he should be serviceable enough to do these, because he says Sean Payton, when Brees couldn't get the ball down like he used to, he had an unbelievable season of these high completions. He thinks that what he's going to try to do with Wilson is like you said, have him get rid of the ball quick. He wants to see that screen game improve. I think I think Sean Payton's trying to get rid of Cortland Sutton because he sucks, like we've said all along, and everybody's now, because it's safe to say what we say, is saying what we've been saying all along, because it's safe to do that now. But I think that tight end that he picked up also is to help that with those screen games for blocking. I could see him bringing Murray back, because he said he loved using Murray in those screen plays a lot. But I could see him wanting to put Jerry Jeudy in that situation too. So what's your take on that?
Well, I like that our Saints source said that. Mike McGlinchey does excel in the screen game. He, again, when San Francisco did run those screen plays, he was able to get to that second level with ease. But the problem
that's why it's a Sean, because he said to tell you specifically to watch how Payton used Ramczyk in those situations.
Well, I'm going to go back and watch the film on Ramczyk when Sean Payton was the coach there and see how the
Brees was making those. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the problem I have with this right tackle pick. Number one, you definitely overpaid for him. That's number one.
Yes, he said that too. He said he never should have paid.
You overpaid, dude. You overpaid for this dude when you could have got a similar version in Juwan Taylor. Okay, but let's just
cannot get.
Where did he go? Where did he go?
He went to Kansas City. He's not going to come to the Denver Broncos.
I'm just saying you could. I'm just saying
never get him, because he would never.
The Chiefs are beating us off the field and on the field as well.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome.
But why? But why are they doing it? Let's ask, why are they? And
because they've been running the same system for a decade now, and they have a stable organization in front office. Sorry.
And that translates into multiple Super Bowl contending runs. Super Bowl caliber contending runs. First, you did playoff caliber contending runs, built yourself up to Super Bowl contending runs. Okay. It's not just about the quarterback.
I know these people don't get it. Okay, so the reason I'm not high on this move, because he doesn't fit the system, number one. Okay, let's just be realistic here. He's a zone running right tackle. Okay.
Yeah, but what Eddie said is that's how Ramczyk was too out of college. He was a West Coast guy.
No, he was not. He was not a West Coast guy. He played for Wisconsin. They run the power gap.
They run power gap. He thought he was a West Coast.
No, they run.
Yeah. Okay, but he said Sean Payton will run a West Coast type when it comes to the screenplays.
Okay, well, yeah, but you can't be doing screenplays every play.
No, you can't. No.
Okay, so you got to be creative on how you do it. And the problem I have, number one, this guy's injury prone. Number two, he sucks in pro. Number three, if you're going to do a straightforward running game, he's going to suck at it. If you're doing lateral type stuff, if you're doing stretch plays, halfback tosses, or, counter plays to the right side, then that's where
I agree. I think the pick was bad. I think the pick was bad because you could have got that screenplay with somebody else, even though this guy accelerates in it, but you can't just be doing that all the time.
You made a 28-year-old player who, number one, had a really bad injury. He tore his quads. He tore both of his quads. Okay. Yeah. And as an offensive lineman, your lower body is your lifeline.
Yeah.
It's not upper body, it's your lower body. That's why the whole thing is concerning, is because he had a freak lower body injury.
Yeah.
So again, this is the problem I have with it. Is this reminds me of Juwan James all over again. This is good enough. We're going to go overpay for him, and we're just going to, hope and pray that he stays healthy at the right tackle position. Well, I don't get the move. I don't like the move.
Yeah. Cliff said that the Broncos could have easily sat a day and got this guy for a lot less time.
And what does that tell you? That's Elway. Elway panicked. Elway panicked.
Total front office.
Elway panicked.
Panic. Total front office.
They do. They can't. That's what they do. They panic.
What it also tells me is that nobody is actually evaluating players around the league. It also tells me they don't have an identity yet. So it's up to Sean Payton to give this team an identity that they can start. And then, I'm going to tell you something else that Eddie had said too that I thought was interesting. He said if the front office doesn't get their act together, he says he could see Payton retire, just saying, I'm out, I'm done, I'm retiring, and walk from the contract.
I could see it too.
Yeah. He said if they don't get their act together, Payton, because he's done it before, he'll just say, "Yep, I'm going back to broadcast. I'm retiring. I'm done."
I also want to bring up this myth that people have. It's funny that people are starting to speak our language now after 8 years.
Because it's safe. It's safer to do it
now. And I have all these YouTubers out there that are saying the fucking same thing we're saying. Oh, the offensive line, your lifeline is the offensive line. I've been saying it for 8 years, and you guys gave me shit about it last year.
No, because it was good enough. What did we hear? Good enough. Just like linebacking, just like the secondary, just like the edges, all that. It's all good enough.
Another piece of information I'm getting sick and tired of is, Sean Payton is the reason why the Saints offensive line was legit. No, it was Jeff Ireland. God, you guys are idiots. It was Mickey Loomis and Jeff Ireland that helped elevate Sean Payton to get those type of players. Okay, you didn't get.
No, they don't want it. They don't even know who Loomis or Ireland is.
Yeah, because
they don't know how that evolution. What was the evolution? Here's the thing. This is what we were told from our Saints source, is that it was a lot like the front office of the Broncos. You had 100 cooks in there, everybody on doing one thing or another, and then the owner said, "That's it. I'm buying up the other owner's part. We're going to have one person that's Loomis, and then you'll have a lieutenant, which is Ireland, and then they're going to decide, and they'll work with." So you'll have 3 people instead of a whole slew of cooks, and maybe the defensive coordinator when it came to defense, and that was it.
Well, and then you also had really good scouts too. Let's not discount the scouts in the Saints organization too.
Yes. Well, Loomis himself, I believe, is a scout, isn't he? Is basically
yes. Yep. Same with Ireland.
And same with Ireland. So yes. So that's you don't have some ego up there, wanting to be friends with everybody, Mr. Elway.
And you can't plug and play offensive linemen that don't fit a system.
No, that's what I'm saying.
These guys don't get it.
These people you're talking about, they will never talk about systems. Putting people in the right. They'll won't when they talk about Dre'Mont Jones. It's just Dre'Mont. Oh, Dre'Mont. No, he belongs in a 4-3 system, just like Gregory does.
And where did he go to?
A 4-3 system, because a 4-3 coach said we could use this guy in this system. He does not fit a 3-4. But you'll never hear those people talk about that.
No, they'll just say
have no concept of it.
They'll just say they knew it all along, and then they would just procrastinate the bullshit, and then they would attack people like you and I who actually been preaching to the rooftops about years and years and years about getting offensive linemen. And I already know.
Well, the right offensive line.
Well, yes, right on. And we're not complaining because we got offensive linemen. We're complaining because we didn't get the right personnel on the offensive line. There's what Mike McGlinchey is going to, he might do good in the screen game, like your guy said. But Ramczyk sure as hell did not come from a zone running scheme. He came from a power gap scheme with Paul Chris at the University of Wisconsin. Yeah. That was a power heavy scheme. He did not come from a zone running scheme.
Good for clarifying. Yes. Good for clarifying that. So, as far as I know, the Saints have always ran a power scheme.
Yep.
So, and then I want to talk about Garrett Bowles. Garrett Bowles absolutely does not fit this system. Garrett Bowles is coming off of a really bad ankle, and he may feel good and walk around, but when it comes football time, can you see him in that power gap system at all?
No.
And even in pass blocking, I mean, I will not be surprised if Garrett Bowles re-injures that ankle. It would not surprise me, but they can't get rid of him.
You have two poor pass protecting tackles, really poor on both sides.
Yes.
So
you are not set at left tackle like you think you are.
You're not set at right tackle either.
No. Well, people are owning up to that one, but they're convinced that Garrett Bowles is some sort of a hot shot left tackle. I mean, healthy. I'm saying that he may, this ankles are funny things. When they're as severe as he had it, it is not unusual that they come back to haunt these guys.
Well, okay, who's the offensive line coach? Zach Strife, right?
Right.
Who I'm a very big fan. I think he's an up-and-coming offensive line coach, and people shit on this guy like it's their fucking job, Cecil Lammey. Okay, first off, buddy, how about you give this guy a chance, especially Zach Strife, who's coming from a system. He knows what Sean Payton wants to do, okay? I'm going to be very curious on how
Cecil Lammey doesn't know an offensive line from a defensive line from a hole in his own head. He doesn't know shit. Cecil Lammey doesn't know shit.
That's why it's just but I'm a big fan of Zach Strife. I love the hire. That was Sean Payton's very first hire to be a coach here. I really want to see what he does with his offensive line, especially with our two tackles, because I am sure as hell do not think that Mike McGlinchey move was a shot. I still to this day do not believe that was a Sean Payton move. I don't. I honestly to God don't, because
Eddie's convinced it is.
No, because okay, why in the hell did Sean Payton ever overpay tackles in New Orleans, or did he draft?
No, that's all front office stuff. That's front office stuff. The front office should have said, "We'll get him, but we're going to hold off on this. We're not going to pay him as much. We're not going to give him as much time." Then I think we all could have lived with that.
Now, let's take a step back, because I want to talk more about this right tackle thing. Would you have been content if they waited a day, like Cliff said, and they gave him a 2-year contract? I would have been more content with that. And then
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, yes. And Eddie said the same thing. He said that was clearly a real bad move by the Denver Broncos. And I said, that's your front office at work right there.
Yeah, and I would have been fine if they gave him a 2-year deal, and then they went out and drafted a guy that could eventually take over McGlinchey's spot that fit the system.
Yeah. That's what we're talking.
These people do not get. That's what these people don't get.
He said that, we need to really watch the draft, and I better not see Elway anywhere in that draft room, anywhere. Only Peyton's people. I do not want to see Elway or any of Elway's people in there at all, but I guess George Payton is his John Elway's mouthpiece in there. But he said if this front office messes with his drafts, he said he'll definitely walk. He will walk, because he's not going to put up with it very long. He said, you watch how he drafts. And he said that one thing about Payton, and I asked him, I said, well, how much was it Payton? How much was it Loomis? How much was it Ireland? He didn't know. I said, you can't just say it was all Sean Payton. I told him, you have to consider Loomis and Ireland, because they are a big part of that. And he conceded. He said, yeah, they are. And he goes, I don't know whose pick was who and what. But I said, this is the takeaway. I told him. I said, the takeaway is Sean Payton doesn't have that front office that rock in the front office that he had in New Orleans. He said he doesn't have that here, and that's when we got into if this front office sabotages him directly, indirectly, he'll walk. Peyton will be out of here because he isn't going to put up with the front office as much as he isn't going to put up with crap players like Cortland Sutton.
Yeah. I want to talk about this Ben Powers move, my favorite move of free agency. And I sent you a video. I said we would have one or two moves that we like, and the rest would be dog shit.
Yes.
So I was right on that again. Pat myself on the back for that one.
That's like Groundhog's Day. It's just like everything we've seen for the last 8 years.
DJ Jones. I want to talk about this Ben Powers thing. My favorite move of free agency was going out and getting Ben Powers. I think that he's going to be the best guard we've had since Luis Vasquez and Chris Cooper.
But there's a problem.
This guy's a beast. What?
There's a problem.
What's that?
Two glaring problems.
Center and left tackle.
Yep. He's got a what? Who's he going to babysit? Cushenberry or Garrett Bowles? Which one is
so
he?
He's going to be another DJ Jones on the offensive line.
Yeah, another guy stranded on his own island.
But again, I still love I love the Ben Powers. Sure. I still love the move. I think that he was the best guard in free agency. I like Nate Davis as well. That's also who I wanted. But I think with Ben Powers, he's an outstanding pass protector, and he's a very underrated run blocker. This guy is a mauler of all. I mean, you go watch the film, and I will be providing you film, guys, on these two offensive linemen, Ben Powers and Mike McGlinchey. That'll be coming later in the week. But when I watch film on Ben Powers, it is so eye-opening to see a guy that just glaringly just pops off on film. I mean, this guy is an absolute stud.
Again, I'm going to just say something right here. That's how we looked at Justin Simmons and versus other safeties. I got to bring this up. How people pop. You talk about you don't need to have PR. If you have a front office coaching, if everybody has got their shit together, people pop. You talked about the Philadelphia Eagles, how players popped, and I'm just sick and tired of hype. I'm sick and tired of PR. I want to see the film where the players pop.
Well, also, I want to see the results on the field.
That's what happens. You get the results.
Well, okay. Also, I don't listen to those people that, hype up the Broncos because they've been wrong for 8 years. Okay. I mean, those people are they don't know their ass from a hole to the ground, like you said.
Well, they'll tell you they do, didn't you say?
Oh, well, they can tell me you do all you want, but my track record speaks for itself.
Yeah. Okay? 8 years of it. Yeah.
8 fucking years. Okay, my track record speaks for itself. I've had channels taken down. I had a video taken down calling out the front office. We have the Bubble Man, Mile High Bubble. His videos are getting censored. Your videos are getting ads, and you're not getting paid for it.
Yeah, so are yours.
Mine are too now. Don't sit here and tell me that you know it all when you've been wrong for 8 years. I don't want to hear
Yeah, I'm sick of it. Yeah, I'm sick of it, too. Or you have new guys coming out saying the same old crap.
And I'm trying to think about film scouting and all that, but I'm getting sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, we knew this all along. Like Cortland Sutton sucks. This offensive line sucks." When for 8 years you were defending players like this.
Yeah, all they do is defend players like that. They are crying a river for Dre'Mont Jones, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
And I'm sure they're blaming Vance Joseph, right?
No, yeah, they're blaming Peyton and Vance Joseph.
Yeah. You got an upgrade. You do know you got an upgrade.
Oh, yeah. He's a better upgrade, and he's bigger, and he's stronger, and he's a better run defender than Dre'Mont Jones will ever be. That's just fact.
Yes, and he's in the right system. Now, Dre'Mont Jones in a 4-3, we could have a different conversation. But they'll never go there. They can't connect that. They can't because they don't know. They just don't have the gray matter up there to know that.
Yep. But
what it is.
I would give this free agency, if I had to give a grade right now, I had a C-. The reason I go up to a C+ is because there's 3 moves that I like. That is Ben Powers, Zach Allen, and I love the fullback edition. I'm ecstatic. We let go of Andrew Beck. He went to a similar system, the West Coast, but Michael Burton, he's a power fullback. He's a mauler. And if you run behind Ben Powers, and again, this is all gonna come down to the draft. I want to see what they do in the third round with center. Please get Steve Avila. If he's there, please get him.
They have to address the center. They have to address that. They have to. And you said there's a guy that could be there in the third. That's good. That's up and coming.
Steve Avila.
Yeah, and if they get West Coast zone running guys, we know what's going on and who's going. Yeah.
I want to talk about also. We forgot one other guy, and that's the quarterback.
Oh, we're going to talk about quarterback. Hey, we're going to talk about everybody. Quarterback. Boop,
Yeah.
boop, boop. Quarterback. Boop,
Jarrett
quarterback.
Stidham.
He's safe. He's safe. No threat to Wilson. Actually, Eddie was saying that if he's not going to, he really believes he won't put up with Wilson. And he says you might be grooming him to be a bridge quarterback for whoever Peyton would bring in. He said he's not going to, he's convinced that he's not going to put up with Russell Wilson. If Russell Wilson does,
I'm very curious to see what Jarrett Stidham does with this opportunity. He played for the Raiders last year. He has a really good arm. He's a mobile quarterback. I mean, he can get out of the pocket and run. But the problem is his pocket presence can be inconsistent at times. I think that he has a little bit more zip on the ball than Wilson does, but again, I just want to see how he does in the preseason. I got to watch
a lot of him in the preseason.
Yeah, you are. Well, again, I want to see the first team. I don't want to do this last year where they were, scared to let the cat out of the bag, which we knew was what the case was. I want to see Peyton actually I want to see him play the first string. I'm sick and tired.
Oh yeah, we're not gonna. It's not the front office bullshit anymore.
Let's just wait to find out here, okay? I'm not going to get ahead of myself on that yet. I mean, we still see some front office shit on this team. I'm not going to go that far yet.
Well, I don't think Peyton's going to be dictated to about that kind of thing, about who plays preseason, how it goes. I just don't think he's gonna play that game.
But my biggest winner of free agency, and everybody's going to hate me. You're a Chiefs fan. The Chiefs had such a good free agency. They got Juwan Taylor, my guy. I love Juwan Taylor.
I wanted to hear before he went to the Chiefs. I want to toot your horn. I don't want to hear people saying this guy doesn't know anything. How come all these players that he picks ends up going places where they're supposed to go and they flourish? He was like the number one offensive line guy in this free agency. His guy before anybody. Nobody in any of the other channels or platforms even knew even a whisper of who this guy was. Chiefs pick him up because they're watching film like this guy does. This guy's a professional in this. So you're just a script reader, a lot of you out there. So please, go, you read your scripts, go, spin your PR or whatever you got to do, fine. But we're going to give it to you straight. We're going to give you the cold hard facts about players and systems and front offices and all the rest of it. You're right. They were big winners. And why? And again, I asked the why question. Why? Because they've been doing it for so long. They've been building it for so long, keeping their identity the same. I don't want to hear about cultural change in Denver. That's a long way off yet. You have to have an identity.
Well, outside of they just got a San Francisco edge defender that fits a 4.3 hand in the dirt. Man, his last name escapes me, but it's Charles Wanawu. I can't say his last name particularly well, but he comes from San Francisco. He was a rotational pass rusher. You pair him next to George Karlaftis, and then you have DJ Jones and
not DJ Jones.
Chris Jones in the middle, and you go and draft another defensive. Your front seven is set. In Kansas City Chiefs, and I think another big winner that not a lot of people are talking about is the Chicago Bears, and also the Atlanta Falcons. They got Jesse Bates up there with that.
Oh yeah, imagine that. Yeah.
Yeah, he went to the Falcons, and they also got Jonnu Smith, who's going to pair great next to Kyle Pitts. They're running. They brought back Caleb McGray. They paid Chris Lindstrom, who is a top 2 guard in this league.
Because what did they covet? What did they covet? What did they covet?
Offensive lineman.
Yeah. Oh, we knew that all along. We've always been that way.
And then the Bears defensively, they went out and got 2 middle linebackers. Terrell Edmonds from the Bills. I thought the Bills had a bad free agency. They lost some key pieces. But that was going to eventually happen when you paid Josh Allen. But they lost Terrell Edmonds. He went to Chicago, and they brought in TJ Edwards. And also another team that had a good free agency, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, again, had another solid. They didn't overpay for anybody. They had a solid free agency. Those 4 teams
that fit their system. That fits their system.
Yeah, that fit their system.
Do they have an identity now?
Yep. Yeah, of course they do.
They're an up and coming. I think Seattle's an up and coming too.
No, me too. Absolutely.
With that stupid old coach Pete Carroll that doesn't know anything, right? Those are the same people that pat themselves on the back, the Cecil Lammies of the world that don't know a lick of anything.
Nope. So
a lick of anything.
Those are my 4 winners. I thought the Broncos had 3 good moves. They had 3 better moves than they did last year, so that tells me something.
They definitely blew out the budget, didn't they?
Oh, well, yeah, I knew that was going to. Yeah,
but that's the front office just being the front office. I want to say this to Rob Walton. I am glad that you're not Cincinnati tight with your money and you're not going to spend a dime. I appreciate that. But if you're going to spend your money, do it wisely. Do it wisely. Get people start. If it's, if you want to start it with Sean Payton and work your way out and start getting rid of the people that are having you write worthless checks to players that make no sense.
And that's why they need to blow out the front office. That's why they need. And here's the problem. Okay, you could say all you want about Cincinnati, but okay. This doesn't need to be a situation, Rob Walton. You don't need to be a Jerry Jones or a Dan Snyder where you pay.
Well, they'll spend money too. They'll spend money too, but
they go spend money with the players that don't fit a system. Again, you cannot do that, Rob. Rob, you listening? You can't do that. Okay, you need to get somebody in that front office. You need to you need to clean out the front office.
I would say for the front office. Player personnel, less is more. Less is more.
Yes.
Less is more. Less is more. You need to get scouts that are on board with whatever Sean Payton is doing. Maybe you should listen to Vance Joseph a little bit more. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, listen to Vance Joseph a little because he got that right, But then again, I don't know if I'm convinced.
He drafted and developed Zach Allen, dude. He drafted and developed him.
Draft and develop. And that's what I think the front office needs. We need a front office that's draft and develop centric. I think they're going to be forced to do that with Wilson's. And then he's thinking that he's just sure that what's his face? Sean Payton is going to talk him to restructure his contract. I'm not convinced on that one.
No, I'm not.
Remotely. So, and I told him too, I said, no way am I convinced that he'll do that. But and you know what, Russell Wilson can walk. He'll still get all that money. He doesn't really. I mean, think about it. He doesn't really have to listen to Sean Payton.
No, because he's
getting paid, and he'll get paid, and then he can do his social. He can go to New York where he wanted to go, and be a socialite up there. It's whatever. So we may be seeing more of Stidham than we think. Oh, you just can't make it up, man. You just can't make it up.
You can't.
So you're giving it a C. I'll take your professional advice on that. Eddie opened my eyes a little bit. Maybe we can get this right tackle serviceable, but yes, we could have got better. I think somewhere else we could have got a lot less somewhere else. And it has Elway as usual written all over that one. I told you too. I want to pat myself. I said they'll have to have their splash move. You got to have it.
That was it.
Have your splash move.
That was it right there. I think there's three moves that define Elway. That's Singleton, McGlinchey, and Samaje Perine. Those three guys scream Elway all over.
And I'll even say this: even if Peyton wanted him, the Elway part of this is how they played it. You know, they didn't wait on. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't wait on it. They didn't wait on it, and they overpaid, and they didn't have to. How many players have as the Broncos in the 8 years, like going on 8 years? I know that some people, oh, it's only just a couple, 3 years. No, this has been going on for a long time. How long have we been overpaying people we had no business overpaying?
You want me to name a few?
But go all the way back. Start at the beginning.
Donald Stevenson.
Yeah.
Menelik Watson.
Yeah.
Jawan James.
Yep.
Ron Leary.
Yep.
Graham Glasgow.
Yep. Gregory. And now this latest right tackle.
Mike McGlinchey.
Just doesn't stop. It just, that's what I'm saying. We got to clear that out. We got to get smarter at the front office. We absolutely have to get smarter at the front office. And, I probably will be getting rid of George Payton.
Wilson too in that.
Oh, Russell Wilson. Yeah, of course. That's obvious. Yes. That's such an obvious one. We didn't even say it. Well, how about Justin Simmons too?
That too. Oh, yeah, because we had a commenter saying that.
Garrett Bowles too. Garrett Bowles.
Yeah, we had a commenter who said that we didn't bring up Justin Simmons. There's a reason why we didn't bring up Justin Simmons, because this organization is stupid enough to keep him.
Well, no, but they can't get rid of Justin Simmons if they wanted to.
You can. Yeah, you can. You can cut him.
That's what I would do. I would cut him. Like I said, I don't think Sean Payton's going to put up with the goalie from Manchester United. I think he's going to get an earful from Payton if he sees that 40-yard cushion shit. He may start, and I think that's what he started with these receivers. I think he told me, this just ain't going to cut it. And I don't think Cortland Sutton wanted to hear it.
Yeah, and that's why he went on social media and whined, because that's what he does.
Yeah, and then, they probably got into it, and he said, well, let's get rid of him. And then now we can't, because like we've always said, you overpaid for him. Nobody's going to pick that contract up. Now everybody's saying the stuff that we've been saying for so long, like, oh, we've always known this all along. Well, and you gave us shit because we said the same thing 2 years ago, for 2 years. You said we didn't know what we were talking about, but it turns out we do know what we're talking about.
Yep.
So we're going to be very interested in the draft and see if this is a Sean Payton draft, or is this going to be a front office, Elway as usual, mixed in. I'm sure Sean Payton's going to get what he wants, but I mean, at the same time, how far does that go? And, where does the front office player personnel interference start coming in? The same player personnel that's been in there for these 8 years that Elway put together up there.
Yeah, you said it. You right on the money.
Yeah. So that's, there's a lot of this is my parting words, is that I still believe this is a team that needs to be blown up. I mean, just blown up, and start from scratch.
Yep.
Decide what front office identity you're going to have. Less is more. What kind of system you're going to run. Get the scouts around that. And start being more monolithic instead of, we're just going to grab names. Oh yeah, you never hear the only person. Let me just say this: the only person when we picked up this right tackle that talked about systems was Orlando Franklin,
because he coached them.
But he talked about fitting in systems.
Booyah!
Nobody, whether they were the players, former players, Slareth, Derek Wolfe, or especially none of the talking heads, the PR people. Little D doesn't know his ass from the hole in the ground. Nobody talks about these players and how they fit in a system. We're the only channel that'll even address that. And yet you hear Sirius XM talk about that. You hear players get on, talk about that from around the NFL, around the league, coaches from around the league talk. But none of these can, and that's why I say, if this is the only place you're going to get that. if you tune in. This is it. And now there's ads on our stuff, and we don't even get a red cent for it.
No, because again, these are my parting words, and I'll go quickly. I agree with you that this team should have blown it up, like we saw with the Rams and the Titans. They're blowing it up. They're starting from fresh. You're starting from scratch. That's what the Broncos needed to do.
What'd you tell me about the Titans? What did the Titans do? When we say blow it up, what did the Titans do?
Oh, they got rid of Bud Dupree. They got rid of their starting center for years.
No, go up higher. What about their front office?
Oh, they brought in the San Francisco people.
Okay, so they blew up their front office, right?
Yeah, they blew it up.
That's the point. That's the takeaway. When Sean McVay came in, didn't they blow the former front office up? The guy with the Detroit Lions, didn't they blow that front office up?
They blew it up. Up.
Yeah, this is a front office just begging to be blown up. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, I don't think you're ever going to have a front office blown up, because the front office is Jerry Jones, isn't it?
Yep, just Jerry.
And that's how I feel that this whole thing with Elway was. It was a Jerry Jones, Snyder,
Al Davis. Al Davis.
Oh, it's total Al Davis. That's the pinnacle of John Elway's Al Davis running a front office. Yeah. But he played I'm not talking about the player. We're talking now. He's not a player. He's a front office guy. He's Al Davis.
Somebody
trying to hide in there. It's just so gross. Blow it up. All right. Well, what should we call this thing? Just the post free agency.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got.
All right. I'm gotta get back to what I was doing. So
me too. I got a nice long day ahead, even though I'm off.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and Bubble Man, just to you, I just wish you could be a part of this. Please make more videos, please.
Yeah. Yep.
Please make more videos when you can. That's all I got.
All right.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.